Why, hello everybody. Hope you enjoy your 4th of July and all your whores and cocaine. And if you're not American, that's what 4th of July is. It's just a bunch of whores and cocaine. So now go off and tell all your friends that. Tell everybody you know. That's what 4th of July is. I told you that. I gave you the stamp of approval. It'll be funny when I go travel in other countries and they think we're a bunch of fucking degenerates. So I was working on my next Doom survival challenge, right? Then early on in the video, I realized that people watching that video needed to know some things about how powerful the Doom invasion is gonna be. So I basically had to tell them to like stop watching that video and go back to my part 1 video and watch the first 20 minutes to get some of the information they needed, but not all of it. And then go stick their dick in this magical Narnia keyhole and then it gets cut off and then you gotta look in the third eye of Tien to see the secrets of Nim. And it was a lot. It was too convoluted. It didn't make any sense. And honestly, my channel just needs one video. It tells you everything you need to know about the Doom invasion instead of having to keep re-upping it every single video or telling you to go watch the original hour-long video but only the first 20 minutes of it. I need a better system is what I'm saying. And that's what this is. That's what you just clicked on. This is the better system. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to tell you everything you need to know about the power levels of the Doom universe as a supplement to those Doom survival challenge videos. Doesn't that sound like fun? That sounds like so much fun. So that's enough of that. I took up enough of your time. You got more whores and cocaine to get to. Remember, foreigners, go tell all your friends that. It'll be fucking hilarious. We're gonna go through this a little differently than we normally do. Instead of me going through every single individual unit within the Doom series and explaining everything that they can do individually, I'm just gonna talk about the entire group as an army and what they're capable of. And this video is gonna be split into sections based on stats. So this is gonna be like attack, potency, durability, things like that. And I'm gonna go through every single stat throughout the whole video. And hopefully by the end of the video, you know a lot more about what these characters are capable of. Also, if you hear fireworks in the background, I apologize. It's still 4th of July weekend, and some crazy people like to cause explosions during 4th of July. Instead of just getting whores and cocaine like the rest of us, they like to be all different and unique. Bunch of goddamn savages. That's what they are. Let's get started. Up first, general strength and attack potency. So this is the one that's basically damn near limitless. It doesn't really matter if you're dealing with the absolute weakest of the demons or the god level beings within their ranks. 99.9999999% of all fictional characters are getting hurt when they're hit by a demon. And the reason for that is Argent energy. Argent energy in the Doom universe is described as being hotter than what is physically possible to actually exist within physics in our universe. This is stated by the UAC scientists on Earth. They say that they actually had to readjust their understanding of how physics works in their universe when they came into contact with Argent because it was a substance that was so hot it completely blew away everything they thought was possible to exist within their universe. Just to give you an idea of how hot that is, in our universe, the hottest thing that can possibly exist according to our physics is 2.5 decillion degrees Fahrenheit. That's a 2, a 5, and then 32 fucking zeros Fahrenheit. Now, I tell you what that is in Celsius, but I'm not a goddamn commie. So while I'm not saying that Argent energy is basically durability negation, it kind of is durability negation because the only way that your durability is going to work against something this hot is if that character has some sort of defense against something like this, and the vast majority just straight up won't. And it's not like this is something that just a couple of demons have. I mean, the imps throw Argent energy blasts, the possessed soldiers have Argent energy cannons. The Archvile not only throws Argent at you, but he also creates Argent shields as well as makes a pool of Argent under your feet, just out of fucking nowhere. The Fireborn Barons of Hell have blades that come out of their forearms that are tipped in Argent. These attacks are cutting through pretty much anything like it's fucking butter. So while demons like the Imp aren't that physically strong, like they can rip through steel and shit like that, but it's nothing too impressive, their attacks still have the ability to harm beings that are considerably more powerful than they are. I mean, shit, the BFG has the ability that if it touches you, it blows up every single cell in your body. And that's not even pure Argent. That's mostly plasma with just remnants of ionized Argent energy inside the plasma. What the demons use is just straight up pure Argent. So just imagine how powerful those shots are. And this is the part where I have to kind of shit on this sort of fan theory that people seem to have. A lot of people tend to believe that Doom Guy is so durable that he's incapable of being hurt by the demons. I don't know why people think this because the game directly states otherwise. So in Doom Eternal, there's a bunch of these recordings of this doctor who's essentially reacting to all the crazy shit that's happening on Earth. And in one of those recordings, she talks about how they took a sample of Doom Guy's blood that they found on Mars after the major battles that went on there between him and the demons. And they tested it to find out that he is indeed human and has human DNA. How would they be able to get Doomguy's blood on Mars if he wasn't harmed at all by the demons? This would only be possible if there were demons he fought there that were capable of harming him. It's stated in the game that the UAC scientists were not capable of damaging his armor no matter what test they did to it, but the most potent durability test that they tried was firing a 2 megakelvin laser at it, and it did absolutely nothing. A 2 megakelvin laser is about 300 times the heat of the sun. That's impressive, but that is absolutely nothing compared to what Argent can produce. There is no evidence whatsoever that Argent energy weaponized would not harm the Doomslayer if it actually hit him. These are just people jacking off Doomguy. Now that's just the baseline fucking dudes. That's the fodder, the heavies, and the super heavies. That doesn't include any of the bosses, all of which are shown being able to match the strength of Doomguy and even challenge his strength a little bit. How strong is Doomguy? He's so strong that he was able to casually jab and break chains that enslaved Titans. Titans are beings that are so strong that even the weakest one of them, the Barge Titans, casually carry whole cities on their back like a fucking backpack. These are the weak ones that have been beaten and enslaved by other demons. So the bosses are shown matching this level of strength, but that's just bare minimum. The bosses are considerably stronger than these Titans. Let me explain. Most people know of the most iconic one, the Icon of Sin, but he's not the only one, and he's not even the strongest. For example, there's one Titan known as Dreadnought. Now, at one point long ago in the past, Dreadnought decided that it would be a good idea if he just attacked the Sentinel homeworld by himself. Just let's see how that works out. Well, for the most part, it worked out pretty well. Dreadnought was able to take on the entire planet by himself. Not only could they not defeat him, but he was going to destroy the entire planet. He killed hundreds of thousands of Sentinels by himself, and none of their giant city-sized mechs could do anything to stop him. This is just one Titan. In fact, the Sentinels got so desperate thinking that their entire civilization was about to be wiped out by one fucking dude that Samor actually made an exception and allowed Doomguy to go into the Divinity Machine and get a massive power-up that made him strong enough to actually take on Dreadnought and kill him, because nothing else on the entire planet was capable of doing that. And again, this is not the strongest Titan. The strongest Titan, of which we've never really gotten a name for, so the fan base just calls them Champion, was considered to be the absolute strongest demon that had ever existed, and Doomguy beat him in a fucking fist fight. Now, we don't know how strong Champion was, since all we ever hear about him is in like text and codexes and shit, but considering he's called the strongest demon who ever lived, it would be assumed that he's stronger than Dreadnought and the Icon of Sin. How strong is the Icon of Sin? His body is so heavy that when he falls on the ground, each individual limb hitting destroys, and I quote, untold miles. He can pull meteor showers out of the sky and just pepper the fucking planet with them. His very presence creates universe-wide reality warping that, if not attended to, will split open a hole in space-time big enough to swallow the whole fucking universe. So if Doomguy's able to defeat the strongest Titan ever in a fist fight, and he was able to defeat the Dreadnought right after he acquired his powers, and then only after that got even more powerful, then to have his strength match characters like the Cyber Demon during their fight, it has to be assumed that characters like the Cyber Demon are at least comparable to that level of strength. I'm not saying that Cyber Demon is equal to that of Champion. I would never say that. But he is most likely comparable to someone like Dreadnought, who is a planetary level threat. Otherwise, you can't really make much sense of the scaling of the universe. I mean, after Doom Knight defeated Dreadnought, he went on to fight in hell for billions of years, absorbing Argent energy in their souls, strengthening himself. He's considerably stronger when he fights the Cyber Demon than he was when he fought Dreadnought. So if Cyber Demon's strength is going to compete with Doom guys, it would make sense that it would have to be superior to Dreadnoughts. Don't let the size of demons of the Doom universe fool you. Size don't mean shit. The strongest dude in all of hell is Davith, and he's just like a guy. So what is the strength of the demons? Well, it ranges. The absolute weakest of demons are capable of breaking through solid steel, destroying whole buildings, stuff like that. So I would say low end, small building level. The highest level demons can be anywhere from planetary to universal, with Davith himself being a multiversal entity that just creates and destroys whole multiverses passively just by existing. However, despite all this, the fact that all demons have Argent energy means these strength levels don't really matter. If your character is not resistant to insane levels of heat and having every single cell in your body explode at the same time, you're not durable enough to take a hit from a demon. Next up is durability. Now this one's going to be a little weird to calculate, mainly because the only things you see harming the demons is Doomguy, and Doomguy is not a normal person. You can't range how much damage Doomguy is doing by just looking at how much damage he causes. Hugo Martin Martin has said that Doomguy enhances the power of all of his weapons with his will. So basically, Doomguy can just take a pistol or a spork and then will it to become more powerful so he can then use it to essentially kill gods and demons and all kinds of beings. So seeing Doomguy grab a shotgun and blow a dude's head off is not a proper way to calculate how much durability that person has, because that shotgun is no longer normal. It's now a god-killing level weapon. So how do we calculate the durability of these people when the only thing we see harming them are these god-level weapons that can harm anybody? And basically, we kind of just have to look at what they can do strength-wise and sort of just translate it over to durability. It's not a perfect system, but it's the only one we got right now. So we see in the game that characters like imps are capable of just ripping through steel and reinforced spaceship hulls and shit with their bare hands without taking any damage. If you're capable of ripping through that shit, that's about small building level. So at the very bare minimum, the weakest of demons are around small building. But that changes as you get to the stronger and stronger demons. For instance, by the time you end up getting to the Baron of Hell and the super heavies, the Codex has straight up said the UAC did not have any weapons that were capable of damaging them. Like at all. They couldn't even put a fucking scratch on them. And Hugo Martin himself has said despite the UAC throwing all of their forces, literal armies at the Titans, they were never able to take down a single Titan. Not one. Now, seeing some of the technology that the UAC actually have, like the BFG 10,000 that blew a fucking hole in Mars. So given the fact that they have that level of technology and are still not capable of actually damaging the demons, I don't think it's much of a stretch to just take the demon's strength levels and just convert it into durability. So the Icon of Sin would be universal. The Barge Titans will be around city level. Characters like the Cyber Demon and the Dreadnought and shit, we're just gonna keep them around planetary. I really don't see this as that much of a stretch. Although just know, I'm aware, this one's a little iffy. Not that that even fucking matters, because their durability is far from the worst part. The worst part is that it doesn't matter how many bullets you put in these motherfuckers, they just straight up don't go down. But the demons don't really behave like regular biological creatures. They're more like meat puppets that are just controlled and operated by these corrupt souls that just sort of keep driving the meat puppet until it doesn't work anymore. You can blow a hole through a demon's chest, shoot him in the fucking face with a shotgun, blow off massive chunks out of his waist, his arms, his legs. And as long as that body is capable of operating via having some kind of muscle attached to some kind of bone, it'll just keep going. The only way to actually kill a demon is to damage the body to such an extent that it just can't physically move anymore. And then the soul just leaves the body, goes back to hell to create a new body, or jumps into someone nearby and just possesses them and takes over that new body to continue the slaughter. So even if you do bypass the immense level of durability some of these demons have, it doesn't fucking matter. You essentially have to be using some kind of weapon or technique to completely destroy the body, just blow it up into little chunks. And if you don't have weapons that are capable of doing that, it doesn't matter if you're capable of damaging them or not. It's gonna take fucking forever to tear their body apart that much. They're a real pain in the ass to fucking deal with, like a bunch of goddamn cockroaches. Alright, next up is speed. And we're about to reverse engineer this bitch, because it would just be easier for me to explain this if I tell you the fastest people and then just kind of go backwards from there. Kind of like those pretentious movies that start with the last scene before then going back in time and then playing the whole movie up until that point. Why do you do that? Just play the fucking movie normal. You're not adding anything to the movie. That's stupid. Stop doing it. Anyway, the undisputed fastest beings in the entirety of the Doom universe that we've seen so far are the Makers. It's stated in the codexes that they're capable of flying all across creation without any real issues. Now, it doesn't say how fast they're capable of flying across all of creation, but given that creation in the Doom universe is an infinite number of infinite sized universes, I would say it's probably pretty fucking fast. Now, a lot of people say that because they can go from one universe to another universe, that means that they are faster than time, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. Or another one I like is immeasurable speed. Again, what? You don't even know what the hell that means. You're just making shit up in fucking forums with a bunch of goddamn teenagers. We see the motherfucker opening up portals and going to different universes. It's not rocket science. They can fly really fucking fast, many times the speed of light, and they can make portals to go into other dimensions. Boom, I just fucking solved the mystery. And I did it without making up a bunch of crap science that doesn't exist. But even though they do make portals, it does specify in the codex that they fly across creation. So we're gonna take that literally and say they can actually travel from like one planet to another planet within the same universe and multiverse through portals, but they're still capable of traveling that far via flight. So at bare minimum, they would have to be massively faster than light. Likely thousands of times, if not hundreds of thousands of times faster than light. So basically, very fucking fast. And characters like Doomguy are shown being able to fight against these characters, including the Con Maker, who is the most powerful of all the Makers, and very likely the fastest. Now, the fastest demon that is shown being able to compete with Doomguy via speed is the Marauder. He's the only one other than Davith who we see being able to just straight up react to pretty much everything that Doomguy does. So we should be able to assume that at least to some extent the Marauder is similar in speed to Doomguy. That gives us a good basis for what the fastest characters of the Doom universe can do. And this is where it gets kind of weird because we know that these characters are massively faster than light. And we know Doomguy can react to those speeds. So do we just assume that every single demon, everyone that he fights against who is capable of fighting against him has near those speeds? That just seems ridiculous. You'd basically be saying every single demon from the tiniest imp to even the possessed are capable of traveling several times faster than light. That just seems fucking insane to me. A part of me just wants to take this category and give it a maximum speed and just not give it a minimum speed. The highest level characters in the series are capable of this speed, and the other characters are slower, but we just don't know to what degree, and I don't really think it's possible to find out what that difference in speed really is. The imps are never shown dodging light. Like, that never happens. They're not shown dodging something as fast as sound. They're never even shown moving in a way that makes you think that they would be faster than a normal person. But if they were that slow, they wouldn't be capable of even touching Doomguy. So, the fuck do I do here? Well, this most certainly is a pickle. Now, next up we have intelligence. I know this seems like kind of a weird one to bring up when I'm talking about the general power of the Doom universe, but I'm only really bringing it up because I think a lot of people would be surprised by just how smart the demons could be. Like, I think most people would assume that they're just rage monsters that constantly come at you trying to kill you without really any thought behind it, but that's not true. The demons have an entire culture. They have religion, they have science, they have their own technology that differs from the technology of any other world. They're actually a highly intelligent people that are just extremely warlike and basically fucking love conquering other people. Their entire society is built on a hierarchy of domination of other species, but also themselves. The more powerful demons can overcome weaker demons and then essentially make them become subservient to them, creating different factions and basically building this hierarchy within demon society. And this is where the different levels come from, where you have fodder, heavy, super heavy, titans, and then one I haven't talked about yet, the archdemons, and then Davith himself. They even say in the game that Davith is not their king. He is the greatest warrior of hell, and because he is that is why he holds the place of their leader. They don't have a monarchy. If anyone from hell were to topple Davith, they would become the new leader of hell. That's just how their hierarchy works. It's very similar to something like the orcs from Lord of the Rings. If you've ever played something like Shadow of War, yeah, it's kind of like that. But on top of that, they also have their own types of magic that they created. While they didn't create Argent, they did create Hell Essence, which means these motherfuckers figured out how to take tortured souls and turn it into an energy source. I don't know what level of intelligence that would require, but I feel like, I mean, I can't do that shit. And you know, I'm a pretty clever guy. Then you have all the different cybernetics that they do to themselves and upgrade themselves. And I know what you're probably thinking if you played the games. Well, actually, the UAC did that. No, the UAC did some of it. UAC didn't do all of it. Like, for instance, the UAC never captured a tyrant and made a tyrant a cyborg. That was all done in hell. In fact, a lot of their cybernetics are specifically cybernetics that were made in hell by the demons. I mean, if you look at what hell is, which is essentially one massive universe that is just an amalgamation of a bunch of other universes that keep getting sucked in and taken over and corrupted and added to the main universe, then you have to assume that they would have all the knowledge and technology that all those other universes have, but combined. So that should make them one of the most technologically advanced species in the entirety of the Doom universe. The only species that's more advanced are the Makers, who were the ones who were capable of creating Argent energy, using Hell Essence and then mixing it with Wraith energy. So yeah, don't start sleeping on the demons, man. They're pretty smart. Okay, so what do I got left? I did strength, durability, speed, and intelligence. Oh god. Oh, I didn't list all their powers. I gotta list all their powers. It's gonna take forever. Okay, all right, hold up. Okay, let's do it. So some powers that literally all the demons have, regardless of power level, like from the lowly imp and the possessed. That's gonna be that thing I talked about before where they're basically just a soul puppeting a body and they can take a bunch of damage without actually going down. That's a big one. That's one they all have. They also have corruption. Anyone that comes near them or in their vicinity, and when I say in their vicinity, I basically mean in the same universe, they begin to undergo this corruption that affects their body, mind, and soul and will eventually turn them evil and into a demon. They all have some kind of ability to to use Argent in some way or another. Whether that be it being inside their body to amplify their already impressive stats, or they can actually use it as a weapon. They are creatures that exist outside of time, so the rules of time don't really affect them the same way. Basically, it doesn't matter how you affect the timeline that they are in, it won't really affect them at all. Like if they enter your world and then you go back in time to change events so that they never entered your world, and then you go back to your normal time, they'll still fucking be there. Because time isn't really a concept for them. It doesn't exist where they come from. So what do you call that? Like acausality, I think is what they call it. Yeah, that's it. That's a thing. They all have control over their soul. When they die, they have the ability to take their soul, go back to hell, and rebuild their body, or use it to possess someone else. Which also, I should add, they all have the power of possession. They all have resistance to mind manipulation, fear manipulation, sleep manipulation, toxic manipulation, heat manipulation, cold manipulation, madness manipulation, disease manipulation, soul manipulation, fear manipulation, poison manipulation, curse manipulation, corruption manipulation, pain manipulation, time manipulation, fate manipulation. Oh my god, so many manipulations. So many. And they all have the ability to travel between dimensions and timelines anywhere they want without any limit, as long as somebody else who was a demon has also been there at some point. Basically, if one demon arrives to a certain universe, dimension, timeline, whatever you want to call it, all other demons get full access to that entire universe slash timeline slash dimension with complete freedom and no restrictions whatsoever. This is one of the things that makes the invasions happen so quickly, because once a portal is opened, you now have like countless demons just pouring in your world or wherever they want to just start fucking up your whole goddamn society. You know those high school movies that never actually happen in real life, where someone will invite one person to their house, and then that person, without asking anyone, just invites like 40 fucking people and they all just show up and fuck your house all up? You know, that thing that's literally never happened in the history of humanity, but for some reason it's in every fucking high school movie. Who the fuck would even do that? Whose parents fucked their kid up so much that they would have the rudeness to just invite a bunch of people to somebody else's house? I always hated that trope. Anyway, that's what the demons do, but they do it to your whole fucking universe. And I think that's it for just the baseline powers that all demons have. Now, as for some of the other powers that some demons have, but not all, now you have stuff like summoning, force field creation, force field regeneration, just plain old regeneration, dark magic, curse manipulation, madness manipulation, telepathy, light manipulation, teleportation, soul control, soul creation. That's a fucking weird one. Yeah, the pain elemental can just create souls inside its body and spit them out like some kind of mobile soul factory. Telekinesis, mind manipulation, biological manipulation, incorporeality. Is that right? Incorporeality, incorporality. They're like fucking ghosts. Some of them go through walls and shit. Adaption. Now this one's not really combat applicable because it's not like they'll just start copying powers and adapt to powers on the fly. But if they are around something long enough, they will adapt to it. Like for instance, the cursed prowlers became cursed prowlers because they were prowlers that studied dark magic and cursing, and then they just eventually are now born with that cursing power. And this is how you get a lot of different types of the same demon. So you have the imp, and then you have the stone imps, which have very similar powers to the imps, but you know, they're made out of fucking stone. If they interact with a certain environment or a certain weapon or something for long enough, they will eventually adapt to it. Reality warping, creation, earth manipulation. The cyber demon, for instance, was basically just a fucking earthbender. So, you know, that's pretty cool. That'd be an interesting crossover. Soul binding. The gladiator was able to lock a soul into his shield and make that shield more powerful than it otherwise would. The shield came to life and became like its own thing that basically helped guard him and would even attack Doom Guy as he blocked. Life bestowal. While we don't entirely know who can do this or how, we do know that there are certain massive rock creatures that were just granted life by certain classes of demons. We also know that Davith can very easily just create life out of nowhere. True immortality. This one is easily going to be the hardest one for most universes to get over in terms of a versus match. Basically, every demon has some form of immortality due to the fact that they can control their souls and go back to hell and rebuild their body and shit like that. But the Titans actually have true immortality. Essentially, you straight up can't kill a Titan in the Doom universe. Even Doom Guy, who has the ability to destroy souls, absorb souls, and even has the power to kill primevals, he cannot kill Titans. There's only one way to kill a Titan in the Doom universe, and it's not permanent. Basically, the Crucibles, which are these giant, massive looking Argent energy swords, have the ability to kill anything that they come into contact with. So stabbing it through a Titan will kill that Titan. However, it's really more of like a death stasis. If you ever ever remove the blade from the Titan will just come back to life. It doesn't matter how damaged the body is. Body will pull itself back together and it will come after you again. So it's only capable of dying temporarily. This is why twice in Doom Eternal, Doomguy is shown snapping the handle off his crucible after it's been stabbed into a Titan, because he actually physically is not allowed to pull that blade out without having the Titan come back to life. This immortality is even stronger than Davos immortality. He is a primeval and should be immune to death, but Doomguy is also primeval and was granted the specific power of being able to murder other primevals, according to Hugo Martin. Just to let you know what a primeval is, it's essentially a fundamental force of the universe that comes into existence with one sole purpose. Primevals are not supposed to be able to be killed or even really tampered with. They're above time or any other concept, and they are simply there to enact their purpose. Basically, in the Doom universe, a primeval is just another word for a god. There's probably way more than that, but I can't think of them right now, and yeah, you know how this shit works. All unscripted, baby. So at the end of it all, how powerful is the Doom universe? It's one of the most powerful universes in all of gaming. I mean, when you take into account Argent energy, that is possibly one of the most powerful energy sources in all of fiction. When you talk about a demonic army that has no end to the number of demons that they can just send at you, because there are literally countless universes all shoved in as one universe, just corrupted species from trillions, if not fucking decillions, sexillions of fucking universes all jammed into this one. And then when you kill them, they take their souls and just rebuild their bodies. So it's just a constant factory of non-stop demons coming after you. The fact that the demons get stronger the longer that they're alive, and just existing makes their strength just continuously increase non-stop. And if they're alive long enough, they get to the point where they're like the icon of sin, where just their presence in your universe will completely destroy it. When you have things like Davos truth manipulation, where anything he says just becomes true. Even after his death, if he says something, it will happen. When you have one of the strongest versions of corruption I've ever seen, that is shown to instantly corrupt every single maker in all of Urdak, with the exception of the Khan maker, the moment the icon of sin comes into being, that was able to slaughter 70% of humanity and corrupt pretty much everybody else in just a couple of weeks. An entire race of beings that completely ignore the concept of time. Not just being unaffected by the effects of time, but also being aware of not only this timeline, but all other timelines that they exist in, all at the same time. To not be able to feel fear or pain, to have infinite stamina, never get tired or need sleep or eat, and to just be so unbelievably hot that physics straight up cannot measure the degrees. Just coming into contact with any one of this massive army would just fry you. Yes, I would have to say it. The Doom demons are probably the most powerful army in all of fiction. Doomguy is one of the most powerful characters in all of gaming, and the Doom universe has very quickly become one of the strongest universes to exist, and abso-fucking-lutely deserves to be up there in the conversation with things like Warhammer 40k and the Marvel and DC universe in just terms of ridiculousness with their powers. But that's gonna be all for me today. I'm sorry that I didn't really get to go into detail with this video as much as I would have liked. I really wanted to go over the Sentinels and the Makers and really do a deep dive in the entire universe, make it like an hour-and-a-half long video. But sadly, I'm in the process of a move right now, and with the whole 4th of July weekend, it became very difficult for me to record a video and edit it in the time I would have liked to. I like to have a video out every 2 or 3 days, and this ain't gonna come out that soon. I mean, honestly, this weekend it was hard just to find a place where there wasn't a ton of noise and fireworks going off. So if there's some stuff that you guys wanted to hear that I did not say in this video, because again, couldn't go into as much detail as I would have liked, I have no issues with making a part 2 to this video or a response to comments like I always do, reacting to what you guys want. So just let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and join the membership, because you get videos early if you join the membership. And always remember, y'all stay safe out there, you hear?